Hey, good morning, Facebook. If you hear that crazy noise in the background, it's my dog trying to decide whether or not she wants out. She wants out when I'm not opening the door, and she wants in when I open the door. Kind of like us humans, right? We don't know what we want. Actually, I think we do know what we want, and we're quite scared of it. And that's why the title of this live stream is This Should Scare You. I don't really like the word should. Um, and anyway, so I have another number coming up, and it happens every year to us, right? We have another number, and this number isn't really significant. It's not like a special number. It's 48. It's not 50 or 30 or 40 or one of those big ones that wake people up. But it's poking at me, it's waking me, and I wanted to come on here and share this with you because even if you're 18, even if you're 15, even if you're 30, even if you're 60 or 70 or 80, it really doesn't matter. You have something to do in the world, and are you doing it? Because I look around and 99% of the people I see aren't doing it. And, I'm going to raise my hand and say, I'm doing it a little bit, pushing myself out a little bit. And I had a discussion with my husband a few nights ago, and I said, I'm I know what I'm supposed to do. And he's like, what are you supposed to do? And I'm like, change the world. And he was like, okay, honey. And I'm like, he's like, how are you going to do that? And I said, well, every single one of us, I think that's why we came here, right? Is to change the world. I don't think we came here to get tested and go through like some kind of ritual initiation of pains and trials. I think we came here to change the world basically by loving each other. And we each have a distinct, unique way of doing that. But it requires us to step up and be fully us and be vulnerable to not being loved back, to being made fun of, to being misunderstood. And we don't want to do that. So instead, we go look at Netflix and we scroll Facebook and we hide, right? I know, like, even the most, like, I am in so many groups with people who this is what we do. We focus on leadership or we focus on spirituality. And we are sitting there going, but I don't know if what I have to say is important. But if you are here and you're listening to this, and even if you're not, what you have to say, what you have to do in the world is important. And I know personally lots of people who have died with their magic still inside of them, and I bet you have too. And I know there have been so many times on a daily basis where I'm not sure if I want to share my magic with the world. I'm not sure if what I have to share is worthy, but on another level, I know that it is. And I know that what you have to share is worthy. And we don't know how long we get to be here on this planet. But it doesn't take long to make a change. Some people have been born and died in the same day and changed the world forever because they changed one person's life. And that's really all you have to do. But then again, that's not an excuse to say, oh, I've touched my children's lives, so I can just, I can coast now. Because, it's like that saying of, how do I know if I achieved my goals in life? How do I know if I'm done yet? If you're here, you're not done. So, is it the end of the world if you go through your life and you don't do that thing that you were meant to do, and things, if you don't step up and be unafraid and unapologetically you? No, it happens all the time. But my God, isn't it amazing when we actually just do the thing that we came here to do, which is be ourselves. Yeah. Which is why I keep getting on these Facebook Lives and talking to you, and why I've committed to doing it, because I'm not real good at it yet, but the only way I'm going to get good at it is to keep doing it. And the only way I can, not the only way, but the way that I'm called right now to wake other people up is by waking myself up and listening to my inner guidance that says, do this, this is important. And if you ever question whether or not you can make a difference in the world, I just want to share a quick story. I went to a plant magic symposium. It was fabulous, a few weeks ago with my daughter in Washington State. And one of the speakers, she was amazing, but the very last thing that she said that I wrote down and I have pondered and I have meditated on, and that is, one rose can change the world. One rose. And you're like, oh yeah, whatever, that's blah, blah, blah. But it's honestly not, because like the natural world, all these plants, they're providing oxygen. That's one way that they're changing the world. Another way is like a rose is the vibration of pure love. I mean, one person, I think a lot of times plants can do things on their own to change the world, but one of the big jobs I feel like plants have is to support people and to inspire, heal. Flower essences, if you haven't worked with those, I have a podcast coming out with Astra, I think today, and she talks about the flower essences, or check into the flower essences. They're so healing. But one rose, it's the vibration of pure love. So if that rose touches one person with pure love, then they can change that person, who can change another person, who can change another person, who can change another person. And so all you have to do is the same thing the rose does. Vibrate at your true essence, and then listen to the guidance and go out and do things in the world that you're called to do. Not just random things, obviously, the things that you're called to do. And there's one big reason why people don't do this that I see, and that's fear. Because their voice tells them this is what you're supposed to do, and they go, no, not me. I'm not going on Facebook Live, or I'm not going to walk up to that person and talk to them, or I'm not good enough to teach this or take that class or be this person or help this person. You are good enough. I mean, like, what else were you made for but to be unapologetically you? Yeah, and beyond that, no, you don't have to be afraid. So when I say this should scare you on the title, I don't know, maybe it should scare us a little bit, but I just think that if we can wake up and live as who we truly are, a lot of these things that we bitch about on Facebook will just be fixed, right? Because if you're unapologetically you and I'm unapologetically me, and everybody else starts becoming unapologetically who they are and who they're meant to be, then problems are going to get fixed, because that's the natural order of the world. That's what alchemy is, and that's why I teach a daily alchemy. It's not transforming into something that you're not. It's transforming back into who you are, because from the minute you're born, people put all these stories and expectations, and then we start doing it to ourselves, and we forget who we really are and what's really important in the world. And so we just get to decide. We get to take some time, get quiet, listen to that inner voice, and decide who we are. And when we make that decision, we can't go wrong, right? Because we know ourselves, whether or not we want to accept that. Because like I said, sometimes it's really scary to know that you are a powerful, magical being in the world, and that you can do things every single day that change and impact the world. So that being said, if you are looking for some help in that area, I do run a group called the Gold Life Lab. It is super affordable, especially now because we're having a founding members special that is only $17 a month, and we do experiments in there every month to tap into different aspects of ourselves and choose to step into our own power. So it's this place where somebody can remind you every day. There's a Facebook group, and then there's another group with different meditations and support materials to help you decide who you are, decide what the energy is that you want to present to the world, and to remind you to step into that energy every single day. I mean, there are other things there and there are other steps and stuff, but like that's the most important one. If you get that, if you get up every morning and you decide, say, okay, I am I like to make a fun name. I'm a confident and joyful mofo. I do that because it makes me laugh. And I want to be joyful in the world. I don't want to take it all too serious, right, and get really scared. But, yeah, I get up in the morning and I decide to be that. And I take 5 or 10 minutes to tap into the energy of that before I go about my day. There are a few other things I do, but really that's the most important thing to do, is to decide to step into that energy. And then as I go through my day, if I forget, I remind myself. And if I forget to remind myself, as soon as I remember, I say, whoa. What energy am I presenting to the world? And I step into it. And when you first start doing it, sometimes you forget, and that's okay. And you just come back around to it. That's why we have the group, though, to keep reminding us, a place where you can check in and get support and get an email reminder at least once a week saying, hey, how's it going? Are you stepping into the energy you choose to claim? So that's my question for you today. Are you making the change in the world that you want to make? Are you happy? If like today was the last day that you were alive, could you say, I did what I wanted to do. I did what I came here to do. I got to experience and be who I wanted to be. And if not, you get to decide today, who do you want to be today, right now, in this minute, and just step into that energy. And that's all there is. And yeah, you might say, but I'm not that person right now. But I can guarantee you this, if you step into that energy of being that person every day and then take the actions that you're told to take intuitively in your mind once you step into that energy, and yes, even if they're scary and even if they're frivolous and even, that you just keep coming back to stepping into that energy and acting from that place, then you will be that person because you already are. You've just forgotten, and you have to remind yourself. I don't know. That's just kind of how life seems to work in this present day world. So I am getting ready to finish up my coffee and head out. I hope that you have a magical day. Step into the energy of being who you want to be and who you choose to be, and know that you can't get it wrong. All right. Much love.